Hey guys, it's Flux Atomic, and I'm back to talk about Suicide Squad once again. This is a part 2 video where I'll focus on the plot, a follow-up video to my first review where I talked mainly about my thoughts on the characters and the general feelings of the movie. It was a spoiler review, but in this review I'm really going to go in depth about specific plot elements that worked for me and what didn't work for me. And there was a lot of things that didn't work for me. I've seen the film twice now, and my feelings really haven't changed. I'm going to be honest with you guys, when I made my first review, it was literally hard to discuss the plot because it was so confusing and convoluted. How could the studio take a movie where the mission is extremely linear and dilute the plot for the viewer by throwing in so many flashback scenes throughout the movie? It wasn't Batman vs Superman bad, but there was a lot. Many of these scenes were used for character development and backstory, and I understand that, but to me the movie overall felt very disorganized. This movie spent so much crucial time trying to get the audience on board with the characters, and if you watched my first video, you know that I thought only about half were done well or were necessary to the squad at all. I hate to be so negative on the movie, but as far as the story, to me every single story beat was 100% predictable. How do you control all these criminals? Oh, you threaten to kill them if they screw up. How do you introduce the characters? Show them the Batman story. Harley Quinn was in contact with the Joker throughout the movie, so obviously you knew the Joker would show up to rescue her. Deadshot was told to shoot Harley Quinn, and obviously he was going to miss, because he's a Deadshot, he can't miss right. Well, obviously he's going to miss. And she was obviously pretending to be shot. When Joker's helicopter crashed off-screen, I don't know how anyone could possibly think he died in such a stupid manner in a B movie. And yes, this is a B movie. This isn't your flagship DC Cinematic Universe movie. And when Harley Quinn approached Enchantress motioning to join her, it was so obviously a farce, it was boring to watch. You knew that she was going to turn around and do the finishing blow, even though it actually wasn't the finishing blow. Here's a question I have. Why did any of the squad members accept the mission? One could say they didn't really have a choice, but they were all really excited to get reduced sentences. The only character with true motivation to leave prison was Deadshot, who had a daughter. Everyone else seemed to be roped in with essentially a bribe. And honestly, if you think about it, if you were a character in that situation, would you really believe that you would ever be let out of jail, no matter what good deeds you did? On one hand, Waller's goal was to create a team of people to fight the metahumans, and on the other hand, she basically wanted all of them to die fighting Enchantress. There was so much conflict of interest in this movie that it was just so confusing for the viewer, in my opinion. Speaking of Enchantress, she actually had a ton of potential, but was terrible. When they introduced her character as some spirit, some ancient spirit, I was like, yeah, dude, this is it. This is cool, man. I think most people will agree that the entire story of her taking full control of the host body full time was confusing. June Moon whispers Enchantress randomly in her sleep, and obviously she gets out of control because lowly human Rick Flag has no way to control her. I mean, Amanda Waller, she's supposed to be some brilliant character, but I'm supposed to believe she didn't see that happening and Rick Flag not being able to control her? Yeah, right. But just think about it, okay? How stupid was the character of Enchantress? Here's a direct line from the movie that Enchantress said. "With my heart returned, I can finish my weapon. Now, tell me how to destroy your armies." What? What about your giant thunder cannon that you've assembled? What about that thing? That can destroy not only armies, but like the entire city, maybe even the country, maybe the world. I don't know. Enchantress also said that she wanted disciples, but she doesn't actually want human disciples. She turned all the humans she encountered into jellyheads to fight and die, even though she could just blow up the world to start over, as she also said was her goal. Her thought process wasn't actually thought out at all by the writers, and it's so clear. While we're on the subject of stupid things, why did the Joker randomly appear at the end to bust Harley out of her cell? I get why he would want to do that, and I get how it was kind of like a good way to end the movie and set up future movies, but why did he wait all these years to do that? If he was lurking around the universe and had the ability to do so all of this time, why did he wait? Was it because he didn't know where she was until they met up again? For some reason, I find that incredibly hard to believe. Now, I can understand that the script was written in 6 weeks or so, and there are a ton of issues, but I did end up liking a lot of things in the movie. I liked the art style of the movie, the designs of the characters. They all looked modern, especially the crime boss Joker and all of the costumes they showed Harley wearing. I absolutely liked the fight between Diablo and Enchantress's brother, mostly because it came out of nowhere for me, and I gotta say, I love overpowered characters and kaiju movies. They weren't necessarily kaiju, big monsters, but I still really loved it. I was a fan of using the music to tell the story of each character and gave them a lot of personality. I liked how the team functioned as a unit even though they really didn't need to, as I mentioned and explained earlier. Now let's go back and talk about character deaths. Slipknot died early on. They needed a fall guy, they needed someone to die to make the situation seem more real to the characters, to the squad. But really, other than that, I don't know why he was in the movie, other than he was in the comics. Diablo, my absolute favorite character in the movie, had a great storyline and character arc, and when he died, it actually had emotional impact on me. But what about the characters who should have died? One of the things that gets lost in translation when you go from comic book or animation to Hollywood is the durability of the characters. The Joker's helicopter crashed, and moments before it did, he was just walking around not strapped in at all. It didn't look like he had a parachute on either. But like I said, he obviously wasn't dead, but what is he, a metahuman? Amanda Waller should have died literally twice. She was in the massive helicopter crash as well, and by the time we see her again, she doesn't really even appear to be injured. Then, she gets sucked inside of Enchantress's blue CG cloud, which absorbs a bomb that conveniently comes out of nowhere for the squad to use, and she appears at the end, again, undamaged. June Moon was a character who I thought should have died to bring some actual gravity to the situation. I don't know why she lived and burst out of her spa treatment mud mask at the end. What purpose does she serve now? It felt super forced for her to be alive at the end, to tell kind of a happy ending for Rick Flag. While we're still on the subject of characters, I just also wanted to say I'm going to make a short video about Killer Croc and Boomerang because there's too much in this video as it is already about characters. After seeing this movie twice, I can only give this movie a 6 out of 10. There are just so many confusing elements to the plot and unnecessary characters that divert everything away from the mission. This is a movie based off of a comic book series, but not every movie has to have a faithful adaptation to work. Many people love the Harry Potter movies, for example, for what they are, even though they aren't 100% faithful to the books. This movie was visually well done and had a great soundtrack, along with the characters I liked. In my opinion, though, this movie will probably go down as one of the worst movies in the DC cinematic universe, being a bit better than the theatrical cut of Batman vs. Superman. I know the reaction to this movie has been so mixed, but I was one of the first people to be negative on the movie after I saw it, and after a second time, I'm sticking to that. To me, this movie was such a letdown. I love talking to you guys in the comments on my part 1 video, and I hope we can do that again. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it. So you don't miss my upcoming lineup of content, make sure you subscribe because there's going to be a ton of it. I have so many things written down I want to talk about. As always, you can follow me in the social media links in the description. And once again, this has been Flux Atomic, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.